Hello, welcome to my December daily for 2014. This is Amy Jo from Paper and Spool, and I'm going to just show you around my 2014 album. A few people had asked to see it, and this is a really great way to show you what it looks like. So you can see on the front here, I just cut some trees. I just sized it in 3 different sizes. This was, I think, a free download from the Silhouette Design Store. It hasn't held up especially well. I might have to redo this tree. But I really liked the look of the white on the craft. And then I just added some white and black striped washi. This is a snap binder from Simple Stories that I got at Michael's. I think it was $13.99. A great deal, especially for my first year. I wasn't into kits or the whole December daily scene really. I had followed along with Allie's December daily for quite some time, and just never really participated. I'm not sure. There were a few years that I tried. I had made foundation pages of a whole very cute little album one year, and then got sick, I think, in the beginning of December, and just never took any photos or completed that. So this was the first year that I really went for it and finished the project. This I added later after I had bought the 2014 kit from Allie's site. I think I mentioned in my last video, I bought it twice. I loved the kit so much, so I do have an extra one of those hanging around. I'm not sure what I'll use it for, but yeah, kind of fun. So inside here, this was the year, like I said, like I just mentioned, that I didn't purchase a kit. I didn't have a very large stash. These snap binders aren't a huge size of ring. I'm not sure if that's 1 inch or 1.5, but it's pretty small, especially compared to the December daily albums that you can get on Allie's site. So it's not a very full album. It's just a little one. It was my first time with the project, and I was just kind of feeling it out. I didn't make any foundation pages. I just did it as I went. So this is a cut file from Liz Tamanaha on her Paisley Press digital store, thelilypad.com, and then I added some gold sparkly stickers that I had. I had these numbers from Heidi Swapp. These are a smaller version of the ones that you saw in my current 2016 foundation pages. A few years ago they were a little smaller. I'm not sure what prompted the size change, maybe the size of these pockets, but they've got the same embossed dots and then the little ridge around the edge. This was from a little pack of cards that I picked up at my local store. I'm so fortunate to have an excellent local store. Edmonton Locals, if you're looking for something and you don't already know about it, check out Treasured Memories. They've got fantastic inventory. It's a family-run business, and they're always willing to help you find whatever you're looking for. They're a fantastic store. And then I just very briefly set out kind of my intention here. It just reads, I have always thought I would do a December daily album, but I've never actually made it happen. This year is the year I will complete this challenge. So just kind of a pep talk to myself there. You'll see as we go through this one that I was just coming back to the scrapbooking craft. I had not scrapbooked anything through our very long infertility journey. It just didn't feel like stuff that I wanted to record, to be very honest. And so my son here, you can see him, he's just almost 18 months. 18 months adjusted. He would have been about 22 months actual. He was very early preemie. So he wasn't walking yet. He's got this adorable little look, and it's so fun to look back at this here. So you can see that some of my style was pretty embedded really early on. I've got some of these nice transparency pages. Again, this was just picked up at my local store. But not very much journaling. You can see I wasn't really into the whole journaling. I have some great little photos, and then a small amount here that I added digitally on my computer. But I was really just starting to feel it out and wasn't really 100% comfortable with my style yet. I used a lot of these digital templates. This is another one. This one for sure is from Paisley Press at thelilypad.com. This one I might have just done myself with the Happy Sinterklaas. Our heritage is Dutch, so we do still like to celebrate Sinterklaas. My husband and I both have really fond memories of being at the Dutch Canadian Club on Sinterklaas when we were children. Just wondering, how did Santa know we were going to be there and have that present ready for us, which you realize later is something totally different. And you can see here my pictures from our Santa visit spilled onto the next page and another page after that. So I wasn't keeping it very concise, which actually turned out to be a problem in my 2015 album as well. I struggle with conciseness, especially because I love to take photos. And all of these Santa photos turned out so lovely. And another digital template here. I think it even included the word day, and I just had to add the 6. And I added a little bit of words as well. And then I think I didn't like the words that I added here, so I covered them up with a little banner and a little paperclip piece there. I always love to take this picture. This was, I think, the second one. I took one the Christmas before as well of my son and my husband laying underneath the tree just looking up. The first year, it was just such a look of wonder on Max's face, and it was so, so precious, and I wanted to kind of repeat that. And so I've done something similar a few times. This is actually kind of funny to look back at because I would never edit photos this way now. I like the clear, bright, true to color, and here you can see I must have been deep in an Instagram phase using all of those Instagram filters to make my photos oh so cool. I mean, it's still really sweet to look back on, just not my current style at all. Decorating the tree. He loved these beads that year, and I think, yeah, I wrote about it here. And again, I just haven't really found my style yet. This writing is so tiny and on such a small white little font that you can hardly read it. I tried to read it last night in dim light, and I was like, what was I thinking? But yeah, just kind of a neat picture of our tree there. And this is what I was talking about in my 2016 December daily as well, that I really liked how I included some of these various sizes. I had a lot of the 3x8s, and at that time I hadn't bought any 3x8 page protectors. I just cut down 6x8s. So that was a fun thing that I want to see myself do again this year. This was actually a photo that I saw on Pinterest. Not this particular photo. I saw somebody had taken a photo like this. So I gathered up all of my Christmas throws and my Christmas pillows and just stacked them on the couch beside the tree and took a nice photo with a really small depth of field, and I really love how that turned out with a great cozy picture. Yeah, and just a few, again, you're not going to see very much journaling in this album. A lot of filler cards, some fun with the numbers. I had a good deal of fun kind of finding numbers and getting them all together. Here's a little bit more where I did some digital journaling on the photo itself. Now, personally, I feel a lot more comfortable with just handwritten journaling. I don't do a lot of digital journaling. I like to see my handwriting in my projects, so you'll see that a little bit more this year as I go. Probably less of this style and more of the handwritten journaling. Here I've got, I was talking again about this in my 2016 December Daily Foundation pages, but this is a page that I've done every year that I've done December Daily, where I just take a photo of the corner of each wreath, and then I just cut them into a 3x4 card and put them together in the 4-page, the 2x2. And then I added a number, and it's really that easy. It's a great snapshot of what my decorations looked like that year. I love wreaths. This is my all-time favorite wreath. You'll see this one in every year. Like, that's never going to change. But one thing, like, I changed the color of my door this year, so this year's is going to look a little bit different because it's not this bright turquoise anymore. So yeah, I like to look back and see, oh yeah, a few years ago I hung the red one on the door, and last year I had a different ski one on the door. And so that's kind of a fun way to just chronicle my own changes throughout the holidays. Here we've got a little bit more journaling and less photos, actually. Just one photo of my son playing around. He'd found some of his baby stuff and was trying to be cute. But a calendar is a filler page, the number, a wish list. And I focused that wish list on myself, I think. There wasn't any, yeah, that was all things I wanted. And this, a new Dutch oven, appeared twice on my wish list before has been caught on, but he did get me one last year, so you won't see that on this year's wish list. And then just documenting our love of Christmas Vacation. I know that there's a lot of us out there who love to watch holiday movies, and my husband just absolutely adores the scene where Clark loses it and just goes on a swearing streak. So this card here is just that quote from the movie where he's just chewing out his boss. And with that ending, hallelujah, holy shit, where's the Tylenol? Sometimes Christmas can feel like that. I know we've all felt it. So yeah, this one is without any personal pictures at all, and just kind of used the cover of the movie there to create something, which actually turns out to be one of my favorite pages in the album. So that's a great idea. This was our first year sending a family Christmas card, so I included the Christmas card. This is just a Becky Higgins 5x7 page protector, and the Snap album rings distance allows you to fit that in really nicely. So that went in there. Oh, I'll never pick dark again because I had a heck of a time finding a pen that would write on that nicely. The things you remember in retrospect. Here you can start to see is kind of where I started to get a little bit more creative in putting a few things together onto one, and you'll see this coming up a little bit more in the next few pages here as well, where I started to layer things and stack things and use washi tape and a wood veneer and staple it. And here I've stapled the whole number on. That looks a little bit crazy now, but yeah, I think I wasn't really sure what to do with that the first year and was like, staples must be the answer, and they got a little carried away. A great game day with some good friends of ours who were visiting from Vancouver that year. It's so funny because this was the Christmas that my son received from Santa his special stuffy. And so at the time, these were his special stuffies. And less than 2 weeks later, they were totally forgotten when that new little wolf came in the Christmas stocking. So it's actually kind of neat to look back on. Before he had that wolf, these were definitely his favorites, and he would take them everywhere. And as soon as that wolf arrived, they were totally forgotten. We were in charge of our local ice rink for our community league that year, and so almost every night through this entire month of December, after 10:30 when the lights went off at the rink, we were out there flooding or clearing snow, and it was exhausting, but really actually kind of a nice time to spend together. At the time, we had our nanny Kristen living with us, so we could both go out and work on that while she was at home studying. She was in school at the time. So that was that's kind of a fun memory. It's nice to see that in here. I just snapped this on my phone and blew it up to 6x8, and so it looks really good for that. I think sometimes people wonder, like, what if we're not doing something holiday every day? And I got to that point by day 17 here. We were both just totally done. He was sick, and I wrote that here, but I can remember just feeling totally zapped myself too. So if you're feeling it, just write it down, put it in. And that was definitely a good snapshot of the day for us, of day 17. Just some vellum where I printed one of those Paisley Press designs onto the vellum, which I think was the last time my printer ever took vellum. I don't think I've been able to print on vellum since. My printer sometimes can be really, really picky, and it took it that day, but hasn't ever again. So again, that's something that when you look through my foundation pages for this year, you're seeing me do a lot of that. And this is kind of where it started. I had this idea of, oh, I'd like to have a little overlay in there, and that just kind of expanded exponentially into my next year and then into this year as well. One of my students gave me one of those blends from Pinterest where you just simmer it on the stovetop, and it was fantastic, and I loved it, and I've done it every year since. So this was just documenting that. And yeah, I've got some combinations. I think these were from a Studio Calico kit, so that would have been my second kit ever. So fun to use those kinds of things. Max's first skate, as we were kind of taking care of the rink, we brought him out there and brought him on his first skate, so it's kind of neat to have that in the book as well. And of course my husband just loved that. It was a great bonding opportunity for them. I took a photo of our wrapping paper that year. And these were Heidi Swap numbers 2, and I don't think I have any of that color left, but they were kind of a fun, bright, bold one. This was the first year I tried a chestnut praline latte. I'm not sure if it was the first year they had them, but again, you can see I just cut this page protector down from the four slot into just 2 of them, and I really like this. It adds, you can add a little bit extra, and it's not really bulky. And I mean, this wasn't bulky at all because these are flat lay stickers. And there's no chunky embellishment on this at all, and just a little bit of journaling there. So yeah, that's actually the second time in this album you've seen my handwriting. So that definitely won't be the case this year. You'll see a lot more of that as you go through. And you can see I was definitely starting to feel a little bit more creative as the month went on in what I was doing for my numbers and things there. This was a very photo heavy spread. Took a lot of photos of my son and my husband playing with his guitar, and they all made it in. I don't think I left any of them out, but it was just such, we were new parents and just really reveling in it, and it's great. It's so nice to look back on. 23, we had a little bit of a gift opening here with Kristen before we left to visit our families, and she bought Max this little piano, which he still has and loves. And then we bought Max a little drum set, and you can see him just joyfully drumming here. Really, really cute. And then, oh, these were some cute, I think these were me and my big ideas, stickers. Just clear stickers that I added in. And there's another one over here. I think I found those at Michael's. And they were kind of a neat thing. And you can see I was like very vigilant with the corner rounding. Everything is rounded. Everything matches. I am definitely not that way anymore. Not at all. And then some of my nieces and nephews made it in here as well. I made this Batman mask for my nephew, and he, as you can see, loved it. Oh, and there's a little bit more journaling. So yeah, I kind of warmed up to that as the months went along. And then I always like to give PJs, and this is just a photo in front of my in-laws' trees the next morning on December 25th, because we all wore our PJs that night. And it was just such a fun Christmas with Max. He was kind of catching on to the idea and figuring things out. Now, this year we did celebrate with my family later. We celebrated on the 28th. So you can see me, I did the 26th here. And then the 27th in his new little sled from my parents. He got that on Christmas Day. And then the 28th when everybody came over. And this was my table setting that year. And you can see I was kind of drained by this time. I'll show you the last page here because it's kind of funny. There's nothing. There's no embellishment. There's no words. There's just 2 photos of Max and my sister, and I was done. I was like, I can't handle any more of this. I'm ready to move on to something else. So there you have it. That's mine. There's nothing decorated on the back or anything like that. It's just plain all the way through. But that's my 2014 December Daily. And as much as it's not my current style, I know that it's a really great reflection of where I was then and what we were doing then and what life was like for us then. And that's really valuable to me. So I really love, it's a great album to look back on. Actually, of the 2 that I've completed, it's probably my favorite. It's just so simple and sweet, and it's just really, really awesome. So I should be up with my 2015 album later this week if you want to come back and check out that. And I've got a few more ideas for videos as well. So you can check out my blog, paperandspool.com. If you're interested in any free downloads for your December Daily, go over to paperandspool.com and check out my free download section because I do have a lot of December Daily related pages available for you there. And thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.